If you have ever thought about selling your current home and buying a new one and wondered, how do I do this? What does this process look like? I'm here to tell you today. My name is Tiffany Gemmer. I'm a Washington realtor. Buying and selling at the same time is a somewhat complex process. There are a lot of moving parts and it does require a lot of planning, but it can be done. If this process is not navigated properly, or if something unexpected comes up, it can be a bit painful, but it can be done. Most of the time when someone chooses to sell and buy at the same time, this is normally not a necessary move. It's normally that they're wanting a larger home or a smaller home, or they're wanting to be in a different neighborhood. Unfortunately, too often we see families stay in a home that does not work well for them simply because they're overwhelmed by the thought of navigating this process. So step number one is meeting with a lender to find out if you can buy without selling, or if financially you have to sell. Of course, it's not an ideal situation to carry two mortgages at once, but it's important that we figure out if it is a possibility before we move forward. Some people feel comfortable carrying two mortgages until they sell. Some are financially approved, but they just don't feel comfortable with it. We just need to know from the lending side if it is a possibility. One thing to keep in mind is when you buy a home, your mortgage actually skips a month. So say we find something that you really love and your home is not listed yet. We can try to negotiate a longer closing. So say you made an offer on a home in October and we closed on the home in December. Your first mortgage payment would be due in February. What is a contingent offer? So when you go to make an offer on a home, you can say, I will buy your home, but only if I can first sell my home. When they accept that offer, you are then given a certain length of time to do so. When making a contingent offer on a home, there are some rules that go along with that. At the time of filming this, in the state of Washington, you have 5 days to get your home listed with a licensed real estate agent. Also, if you receive a contingent offer on your home, you would have to get the seller's written consent prior to accepting that offer. Also, if the closing date is less than 30 days or more than 60 days from mutual acceptance, you again would have to get written consent from the seller. Sometimes those who are approved to carry two mortgages choose to make an offer contingent on the sale of their home. Now, if the seller receives another offer, you are then notified, and then you will have to decide if you are willing and able to remove that contingency. Since you have already met with a lender, you know the answer to this, so it's an easy yes or no. Once we know your financial situation, it's time to sit down and take a look at your home. If you're not in a hurry to move and you just want to wait for the right house to pop up, I will go ahead and pull a CMA and show you what homes in your area are selling for. This is going to give you a good idea of the value of your home and also how quickly homes in your neighborhood are selling. We also need to consider the condition of your home and make a game plan for what needs to be done to really get your home ready to go on the market. It's really important that you have your home really close to being ready. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that you put mulch in your flower beds 6 months before you're ready to sell, but it is time to go ahead and paint any non-neutral walls in your home. Go ahead and pre-pack away any unneeded items and put those in storage. And this is the time to go ahead and address any deferred maintenance. Selling your home is definitely work, and having it on the market is certainly inconvenient. The goal is that your home be so prepped and ready and show so well that we can get your home sold as quickly as possible so you don't have to upheave your life for months on end. A home that's not well prepped for the market, it isn't staged, it isn't well maintained, it isn't in good condition, it's going to take more showings to sell, and it's going to sell for less. My goal is to help you sell quickly and for top dollar so you can get to that dream home. Again, I understand it's a lot of work up front, but keep your eye on that end goal and do that work up front, and it is going to pay off. Once you get an offer on your home, you have approximately 30 days to pack everything up and get everything out. Be aware that some agents will just sell you on the dream, but they don't share with you that selling is inconvenient and there will be some pain to get you to the end goal. Hopefully your agent will be upfront with you and share what pre-work needs to be done to prep your home so you don't have to go through months and months of showing your home and lose your dream home while it sits on the market. Now, when you go to buy, if a home is occupied, sometimes sellers wouldn't mind a longer closing date. On the flip side, if a home is vacant, they likely would like to have a faster closing date. Buying, of course, is the fun part, but unless you're prepared to carry 2 mortgages, it's important that you have your home prepped and ready to go before we actively start touring homes. If you are going to make a contingent offer on a home, you need to either have your home under contract, on the market, or ready to list within a matter of days. When you are the seller, we're not likely to entertain a contingent offer on day 1 on the market. Some sellers won't consider a contingent offer unless your home is pending, and some sellers won't entertain them at all. If a home's been sitting on the market for an extended length of time, they may be more willing to consider a contingent offer. As a seller, when you accept a contingent offer, you can continue to market the home and have showings. However, most buyers only search for active listings, so your buyer pool is going to shrink down significantly. If you choose to accept a contingent offer and they don't sell the home, your days on market does not reset. This can cause your home to be viewed as an old or stale listing, and this could ultimately hurt the sale of your home. Before agreeing to a contingency, your agent should be looking up the home that the potential buyers are going to be selling. You want to find out where this home is, how they are going to be pricing and marketing this home. Are they going to be using professional photos? It's important that you have some knowledge of what you're agreeing to before you say yes. If it's a really slow market or a buyer's market, sellers may take a contingent offer, but there is still a deadline. Your home must be sold within a certain length of time. If homes in your neighborhood are sitting on the market for 90 days before they sell, we may need to list your home prior to finding another. Or you need to make your home look so great that it's an easier sell than the rest of the homes in your neighborhood. You also need to make sure that you are being realistic about your pricing. If you list prior to finding another home, you may want to make the sale of your home contingent on you finding another. So you would be saying, you buying my home is contingent on me buying another. If you want to do this, this has to be negotiated up front. If you don't do so and you sign a contract, you are legally required to sell that home no matter what. Be aware that if you choose to do this, you could receive some pushback from buyers. As your agent, my goal is to do everything I can to get you the ideal scenario where you would close on both homes the same day, but it is a very delicate process. So it's really important that you have a backup plan. Do you have a friend or a family member you can go stay with? Are you okay with a short-term rental situation? It's important that we look at what your options are. If you do qualify for 2 mortgages, look at what your monthly payment will be and add that to your current mortgage. Understand what you will be paying total and make sure you have the savings set aside to do that. So what does this process look like as far as getting a loan? So there are a few common options. If you haven't sold your current home yet and you have a good amount in savings, you can put down the minimum down payment for the loan. And then once you have sold your current home, you can pay a large lump sum on the loan. They can then recast your loan. This is something that can be done just one time, and they will recalculate the numbers and re-amortize your loan. This will lower your monthly payment and allow you to drop PMI if it's enough to eliminate that. Another common option is a HELOC, or a home equity line of credit on your current home. In this situation, you would take out enough for a down payment on the new home. Then when you sell your current home, you would pay that off. If you have to sell before you can buy a new home, it's going to require some more planning. If you're concerned about scaring away buyers by making the sale of your home contingent on you finding another, I would say go ahead and get your home sold. Go stay with someone or find a temporary living situation. Choosing a new home is a huge decision, and if you don't love anything that's currently on the market, I personally would rather see you get into a temporary situation. It may be inconvenient, it may be uncomfortable, but it will allow you to have time to find something that you really love. Also, when you're placing an offer, you're going to have a lot more buying power if your offer is not contingent. When you place a contingent offer, you're asking the seller to take a chance on you. You are essentially begging them to please wait for me to sell my home. I will give you what you're asking for, possibly more. You can't also come in $40,000 below asking price and ask for closing costs. You are begging them to take your offer. In most markets, if you want to negotiate when you go to buy, you're going to need to sell your home first. If your house is not yet under contract and you move out, you need to be aware that a vacant home does not show the same as a lived-in home. Those viewing a vacant home may notice the scrapes and scuffs. It's also difficult to tell how large a room is, how furniture is going to fit into a space, and those little cosmetic things are going to be much more noticeable. The last step before you start the fun part, where you start house hunting, is to sit down with your real estate agent and look at what you will be getting back on the sale of your home. I provide a net sheet for all of my sellers, and this will break down closing costs, realtor commissions, fees, and taxes. Before we actively start looking, we need to make sure that you're going to get what you need to out of your current home. I wish you could just let your agent know how much you need to get out of the home and we could make it happen for you, but unfortunately, we don't make the market. We have to look at the data and be realistic about what your home is worth in the current market. There may be situations where you sit down and you look at those numbers and you decide it just doesn't make sense for us to sell right now, or possibly you'll be pleasantly surprised. I understand that it's really fun to jump into looking at houses, but it's really important that we do things in the right order. If we go out and start looking at houses before you're really ready, we may find that dream home and then find out that you're not financially able to purchase it, or your house isn't ready to sell and you miss out on that dream home. If you're in a really hot housing market or a seller's market and you're really set on being contingent, it's going to be really difficult to get an offer accepted. Be aware that there are times when you just are not going to be getting a contingent offer accepted. In that case, again, I would advise just go ahead and get your home sold. This will allow you to be able to make a competitive offer, and you'll really be ready to jump on it when the right thing does come up. This will also put you in a better position to negotiate. Make sure that your agent has a plan and that they have advice to help get your home ready. If they just jump into taking you out on showings, they aren't doing you any favors. It's really disheartening when you lose out on that dream home because the process was not navigated properly. Buying and selling at the same time, again, it is a tricky process, but it is doable. If you're thinking about buying and selling and have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach me at tiffany@sellingsnohomishco.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this information to be helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.